get really personal, and it sunk in for the first time that this system, this way of resolving conflict with no resolution in sight, was not the way to do it.
Yeah.
And I started to explore on a personal level how to figure out a better way. And I also did a lot of reflection on my role as a lawyer, because I had been in the shoes of a lawyer saying, client, listen to me, this is how you win your case. These are the steps that you need to take in order to go into the courtroom and put on this show in this artificial environment to get something that you think is attainable or has justice and righteousness and right and wrong and fairness and all these concepts attached to it. And I realized that I didn't want to do that. I was never the person that I was as a litigator. I was never aligned.
Yeah, it wasn't who you were. Yeah. And, honestly, I think you're so right. The way I frame that for clients is I'll say, you're not going to get emotional justice in the legal system. And that's exactly what you're describing. People go in thinking that they're going to get some it's going to be fair and they're going to get justice. And, it's not always the case. So, but I love that you recognize that wasn't aligned with who you are at a soul level.
So true. So I realigned myself, and it took some time, but I had really an epiphany that I needed to change in order to practice law the way that I wanted to, and how I want to show up in the world, and how I want to guide people. And I revolutionized my practice. And by doing so, I became trained in collaborative divorce. I became a certified mediator, and I did leave my litigation firm on my own terms because I felt like I needed to draw a hard line in the sand. And I made a commitment to never litigate a case again.
Which, what I love about that, because I know a lot of attorneys, and what I love about you is that you are committed. I mean, most, at least in the Charlotte area, which is where you're from, most attorneys that are collaborative will also do some litigation if they need to. You are like, I'm not, that's done for me. That door has closed.
I closed that door completely, with the thought that I will never waver. I will never open that door. I will not consider it. Now, people do call me, and they have circumstances that I am not the best fit to handle. And I do, unfortunately, need to refer them to some colleagues who can work with them in the litigation context. But as I said, I really feel like that's a last resort. And I feel like it's my duty and my role to educate people that they can empower themselves to solve their own problems, to figure things out. And I realize that that's not available or attainable in all cases. But for the most part, if you step back from your own situation and think about what story of divorce, if that's what we're doing, if we're getting divorced, what story do I want to tell in 10 years or 20 years or 30 years? And if you have children, what story do you want them to tell about their parents' divorce?
I love that approach because it gets people out of that present moment where they're so upset and angry and want to win. It helps them see the long-term effects of that mentality.
Exactly.
So for the listeners who don't know what collaborative law is, can you, because I know you actually ran the collaborative divorce group in Mecklenburg County for a while, so you're an expert. So, and not only, and you do it every day. So If you could kind of give a description or an explanation of what collaborative law is, that approach to divorce.
Yes. So a succinct definition is the collaborative process is a conflict resolution process where spouses commit to resolve all issues related to their marriage and the divorce without threatening or resorting to litigation.
Okay. So so that would take a special skill set, I would imagine.
It
And I know
does.
in your bio, I mentioned that you're a financial mediator as well. So you probably have some additional training in mediation to help. But um, what do you feel are some obstacles that prevent people from being able to do collaborative? And what are some qualities that you see in couples that you know it's obtainable?
Well, first, I think people need to find and be educated by a skilled professional who has successfully concluded collaborative matters, because it starts with working with a professional who isn't the lawyer who says, I'm the lawyer, listen to me, do as I say, and you'll win your case.
Mm-hmm.
Collaborative professionals have had a paradigm shift, we like to call it. And that's really just a mindset shift where the lawyer has done self-reflection, where we have seen our role in it. We do see our role in a different way. And that role is as a very intelligent guide, an advocate, but an advocate who doesn't resort to threatening tactics, to gamesmanship, to that win-lose mentality. And we're always keeping the most important goals of not only our client, but the family in mind as we work through the process. And then we realize that we can't do it alone. And one of the interesting parts of being a lawyer is that sometimes lawyers think we know it all and can do it all. And that's just not true. We need people like you, Sherry. We need mental health professionals who are skilled in being counselors, being people who help people reframe their futures. And so we work with a team. There's an interdisciplinary team that approaches the collaborative divorce process, and that's one of the hallmarks of the process, is that not only do you have your own lawyer, but when you enter into the collaborative process, you can decide to have a mental health professional who is trained in family systems to help facilitate conversation, to work through communication roadblocks, and most importantly, to look ahead and figure out how you can move your mindset to the future and reframing things for the next chapter of your life.
Okay. And so the team, as I recall, is each person has an attorney that's trained in collaborative law.
Correct.
And then you can have the option of having a mental health professional to help separate the legal process from the emotional process. And then you also could potentially have a financial mediator, and the therapist or the coach and the mediator are both neutral, where the attorneys are not. Correct?
So the financial expert is a neutral, and their role is to gather information and documents and then synthesize the data by creating budgets, by creating spreadsheets of assets and debts that form the foundation for the team with the clients to have conversations about division of assets and debts, spousal support, child support, and parenting arrangements.